What? You know what? I'll do comments. I don't know why, but this definitely should not be logged here. The whole idea is, well, this used to be a member function, as in 5 minutes ago, of session, and then I had AI move it here, and then it passed the session as a reference as the first argument, but that should actually have been an unlocked session, so I just changed it. And that means that the signature of this function now changed, so I want to change all callers first, and then later concern myself with what happens inside the function. So for now I just lock the unlocked session immediately, and then star session underscore W is again a session which we just still pass then to oh, what am I doing? This is ridiculous. Yeah, which you then pass to all those functions, so it's still just take a session like that. But yeah, I should never have a dereference of a what type being passed to a function really. So this says, or this is a pattern that I recognize as, oh my god, you know, I should not do this. I guess I could add fix me here, don't lock this here, but let's first fix the colors. I think I already changed the header. Yep. Well, if in so much, well, it's 2 errors. Okay, maybe let's just do a grep anyway. Oh, it's quite a lot. I thought it might have been not that much. Using this as a list to fix stuff is easier, I suppose, than just compiling and going for the errors. Especially these are simple. Let's begin with this. With these. Because instead of passing a locked session, I should pass unlocked one. Oh, well, I literally have that here. Do not lock. Just pass unlocked. That was again a dereferenced what type, which is now no longer there, which is a good thing. So I could have known that this was necessary, simply because I'm passing a dereferenced what type here, which is a smell, a code smell. What am I doing? I meant undo, yeah. And again. I could have done this with a search and replace, almost. As long as everything is on one line, that would have been possible. Yeah, I think it's just a handful. I'm probably already there. Yeah. So these are now fixed, unlocked, unlocked, and then this was the one that is on the new line, unlocked, unlocked, unlocked. This is just definition, the declaration. So let's do this one. It should also be correct or not? Probably not. No. Okay, so this is also a dereference of a what type. What being WAT, right access type. It is being created by here, hidden by the macro, but it is. So instead of this, I want to just pass the unlocked one, but then it should still be unlocked, so we can't do this, which means you don't have a session W. And that is actually the same thing, so we don't have to log it at all. I can just pass unlocked session in both cases. And that took care of this file. 2 files left. Let's look at that one. Now it's the same thing. Just pass unlocked. This fix me. Remove this once all session mutexes have been replaced by the mutex in unlocked session. I'm working on that, so I'm gonna remove all session mutexes. Could delete it already, but I'm gonna ask AI every time I remove a lock like this. I have the AI check, you know, if it is not a disaster to do that, and then I just blindly believe it, which is probably dubious, but well. Last file. Okay, so here this must be unlocked session, which exists, and which means I can't do this lock, which means we don't have session underscore W, and that doesn't hurt much because I have to pass unlocked here as well. And here it ends anyway. Plus, before the return, I did end the critical area. It can also be deleted because there is no critical area now. And I don't like braces if there's only a single statement. That should do it. Yeah, so this should be called pile if I did everything correctly and didn't forget something and blah blah blah. No, so far so good. Yeah, I did everything correct. So I made a change in, or we moved it to this file. I wish my memory wasn't that bad. Maybe I should train it more, to like try harder to remember it again and again until I get better, and then it's this one, right? Load command registry, which is defined here. Yep, big. Still didn't remember it though. I just saw it. Load command registry. Why cannot? Why would I forget that? I mean, it's like, I don't know. Anyway, the colors are now correct. Let's now do what the comment says here and not log it. I should just not ever, you know, pass a dereference what type. So instead, passing a session, everything should take an unlocked session. Yeah, then I'm doing multiple things at the same time. There's another one here, and here, and here, and here, and here. So maybe I should do it one by one. Move that down, and then first do this one. Which means that the signature changed of the make extension resource policy 1. Change that. Because yeah, there's an argument that is a session const reference that should not exist. It should just always be a session TS. And I'm gonna call it an unlocked session. The reason that it still exists was that it was called from a member function. Member function, you can only get inside a member function if the object is locked, so it was already locked. There was nothing I could do about it. But that's why I turned it into a free function again, and now we can pass the unlocked session here. And then, yeah, make session resource policy. Doesn't look super slow. Just to construct something. I'm just gonna lock it here. I do lock it here. Scoped critical area. I think reading is. Oh, we can only read log it because it's a const thing. Let's call that session R anyway, and then we locked that one. Substitute session dot with session underscore R arrow. Yep, that should work. Now we have a header, I guess. Make extension resource policy 1. This one. But it should be a session threadsafe unlocked. But this is just a using thing. I'll show you what it is. It's an unlocked. It's a threadsafe unlocked. It wraps the session together with some mutex. And in debug mode, it's a more complex thing derived from that, using a debug mutex and all kinds of shit. I don't really care about that here. Well, this compiles. Test it anyway. It does not compile. Good thing I tested it. Unknown type name. This is in up runtime. It should be defined in up runtime, so I think I'll just miss this header then. Which before we didn't need, now we do. I don't like including headers in headers, but yeah, let's see if it works. This is an up runtime. This is also an up runtime. I'll just include it like that. Have the double quotes really do something? Call to implicitly deleted copy constructor of session in instantiation of function template specialization. So that would be the caller. We still have to fix the callers for this function. Okay, we do have a session R here, but we can move it one down and then pass the unlocked version here. Lazy or and again this time from here. So do not lock unlocked session. Do not lock, just pass unlocked session. And then the exact same thing is done inside this function now. Locking it with the scoped critical area. This line, yeah. That's an easy one. So do not lock it, just pass it. Okay, I'm starting to wonder how many of these things are there. Let's get an idea of that. So, how often is that being called? Still quite a lot. Unfortunately, I cannot pass twice the same file with different line numbers. It doesn't work. So you have to do one file at a, for one line at a time per file. That's already unlocked. Unlocked, unlocked, unlocked. Overlap, you already did those. Well, those anyway. And this one. What is this? Yeah, so we don't need that then. Just pass the unlocked session. This one is more difficult. we do an expect and then we call this. Yeah. Let's keep it in that order. So I do instead critical area begin, and then we need an unlocked session. TS. Yeah, let's use it. Well, yeah, well, that doesn't matter. Okay, could make it a const reference. This works as well. Because all I want to do is dereference the unlocked session result, which can be done in non-const. That's just to get the alias with a different name, otherwise my macro doesn't work. And then before doing this, we have to end it, end the critical area. And then we can use here unlocked session. And then we have to continue it. Continue. And then we have the session underscore R again. So theoretically, move this down here because you don't need it sooner. Well, that should do it. Then the duplicate file is only this one. There's another one here. Oh, it is shifted. It's here, and it is already changed. Confusing. This one is also fixed. Everything is already done. Now can I remember the name? Load. I guess still don't know. Load session registry. They'll never know, I guess. Why am I here? Nope, it's the wrong file. I think it was this one actually. Load command registry. Yeah, that was the one. Command registry. Try harder. Okay, so let's change the load prompt commands. Yeah, well, that one's also, well, depends on if I think load prompt command there is super fast. And I mark down files, and over all files, command name for file, reads resource file, that sounds slow. It's doing disk access. I probably should not have it locked. I should have a file lock here though, theoretically. Could argue that I need a lock on the, I need some mutex to avoid reading this file concurrently, but, or even writing to it, I don't know. Reading should not be a problem actually. But, yeah, you can't abuse a mutex for that. Really, all file accesses should be looked at separately and then use file locks to serialize that. So I'm just going to make a copy, I think, and then workspace there is just a string. It's just a standard file name probably. Let's see, standard file system path. What did I say? It's not this one. Open context. Probably session.h. It's a file system path. And we need to make a copy, not get a reference, obviously. Now what is this? Config dir. Well, you already see it. It's the same. It is the same. The stupid thing is using auto everywhere. Now I'm starting doing that too. Just to be consistent. Everywhere auto. Everywhere auto. Our config dir. Session read locked path. Our config dir. And then we can use that here. And now we still need a session underscore r. Load prompt commands. Yeah. Is this an anonymous namespace or something? Space. It is anonymous. Okay. Well, I'll compile this one. Load command registry. It was. Yeah. I remember it now. No matching constructor initialization of a rod. That is probably a crud required. Where oh here. Oopsie. Yeah, it's a const reference, so I must use a crud. Apparently I've got, again, where this thing is defined. Found it back. It's in the command registry.cpp. So we fix this one now. The next is the load plugin commands. Only called in a single place. What? And already called with unlock? No, I just changed that. Oh, I just have to, it's just the only place where it is called. So I have no other callers. Well, okay. Still have to change this. And it's an anonymous thing. So that's really the last thing that you have to change. With respect to this function. But of course, session, oh, and it's only used in a single place. Ridiculous. Might as well pass the workspace there then, instead of the whole session. Yeah. The lambda is grabbing a session. That is also wrong. So we're not immediately calling it, so I might as well grab the unlocked thing here. Just check. Yeah, it's not being called. Well, actually, I have to look at context, obviously. Context is not being called inside the critical area. Thus, we can do, well, this one too. But I'm going to grab the unlocked session here. And then it's only using that here. Okay, and owned. What looks like a non-const. Sorry, yeah, a non-const thing. It is non-const. So this must be a W. This is just reading, 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 reading. Probably reading. Mission role store. Const. Yep. So just having a read locked it here is correct. But inside the lambda it must be right locked. Where's my thing here? Time. Yes, right access type of the unlocked session. It's slightly dubious though. If I can't make a copy, so it must be a reference. But what happens if my unlocked session is changed like drastically by someone else? That's no problem, as long as it doesn't go out of scope, which seems unlikely. It's probably not the concern of our mutex here. I don't know, it's a potential crash situation, but and impossibly to find as well. Well, yeah, what can you do? Cannot cast runtime session TS to its protected base class. I did not change the signature of the load MC prompt commands. Well, I did here, but apparently not here. And I did here as well. Yeah, what? Wait a minute. Make C tags. This is not changed. The header. And the last one. Load skill commands. Certain variables are very often necessary. The whole design is wrong. I hate it. Yeah, it was originally designed by GPT 5.5, I think. And there's a lot bad. Really, really bad foundation, as it were. Kind of sucks. But we see this so often. Just make a quick copy. I'd like to abbreviate that somehow. Not with a macro, something smarter. Maybe make an immutable base class of the unlocked, so we can just guarantee it not being changed. So I can just do this with the unlocked session. I'm gonna rename unlocked session to session, back to session, when I'm completely done with the refactor. So then you would just have session.workspace there. Calling it on the unlocked one, which then would be guaranteed to be safe because that specific variable is then guaranteed not to be changed. Except at very certain places in the code. Kind of synchronization points. In other words, I would make a copy somewhere already, and then like this, and we can just access that from the unlocked, something like that. Load skill commands. Also anonymous. Yep. Matching constructor. That's again a CR thing, I suppose. Yeah. unexpected namespace. Oh, session is used more often. Workspace there. No, there's also a workspace there. You still have to copy. Good. On 100% test passed. So what changes do we have now? This function is removed from tool dispatch skill. Why? It has been moved to static resources. Why? There's a skill in it. Why would I not be able to put that in dispatch skill? Just ask the AI because I really can't see any reason. What? There was a threefold code duplication. Yeah, I said in my prompt. Let's see what I said. I'll never be able to find that back, of course. Nope. Either I missed it or we scrolled off. Oh, here it is. Please continue. No, that was in the middle, I think. I ran out of tokens or something, so I switched to a different model at that point. Yeah, just also a lot of work. Okay, well, so yeah, I said under no circumstance duplicate code, but it's like do not create more duplicate code. Interpret it as if you encounter duplicated code, then remove it. What's a good thing. However, now I'm curious then where that was. So we look at the git diff. Do the no pager diff less, and then look for that. So there was one where I think it should have been. Clear plugin skill files. Okay, here's the second one. And the third one. And then it was added here. But again, so where did it come from? I think this one was a nice location for this particular file. Was it? This talks about. It's more maybe plugin and skill. Plugin skill. This is skill. It's not maybe not very much plugin. And then it was removed from up commands. Yeah, it should not never have been in there. So that is definitely a good way, good reason to remove that one. And then here also, that is switch file. Hello. Runtime session. Okay, that definitely should have been removed from there as well. Yeah. Yeah, why not just leave it in one of the skill things or plugin things? I mean, why a new thing? How much did it put into it? How much did it put in? Now we suddenly have a unique file descriptor in this thing, in here. Well, that wasn't duplicated, was it? Source error, relative resource path, resource display. Okay, resource display path. Load plugin static resource. Enable plugin set a skill files. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it belongs there. Neither does this. Enable and declared. The rest, I would say, well, okay, resource stuff. In plugin. All of the things also are related to plugin. Sneaky. I was already there. Oh. What? Let's look at this one. So it was. I'm making a fool of myself or what? Or is it making a fool of me? By hiding this. Nou ja. It's a less clear card. It converts. Factor into. I'm going to keeping it out or. So tool dispatch semantics. Most calls are outside tool dispatch. Putting the shared function in agent code. Give out a dependency. So put event type again owned. MCP prompt arguments JSON. Moved that completely to a different file. So okay, it's just hard to read diff. Declare plugin skill files gone. Looks fine. Let's commit this. The big change, the biggest change here is oh boy, load commands registry. Command of commands. Command registry. Yeah. But why? Why did I want it? There was a reason. Yeah, that's definitely the case. This should take a session const reference. Which is result serializer. Same with that one. So also a serializer. And we'll store that. What about this one? So at least the last 4 lines. Model info JSON. No comment. It's an unlocked session here. What the hell? Model info JSON. Why does this compile. Why does this compile? Model info JSON not used. The header declares a session TS and corresponding translation unit as a definition that there's just a session const reference, and then a different TUS calls it with the session. Oh, and it forward declares it like that. So, what the hell is this doing here? Where did my comment go? Was it still there? I didn't see it a second ago. 4 hours ago. I put that 4 hours ago there, the comment. Line 22. Okay, the comment is still there. So this is no longer true. Session owned serializers are invoked with this, while the owning session is already locked. Is that still true? That should have everything to do, of course, where this is being called, and it's only called in this file. And we are doing a session underscore here, which is from the session result serializer. So yes. That is constructed with session, which session const reference, which and then that is stored at etc. Those are already locked while being handled, and I don't think I would want it any other way. So what really is wrong here is this. And I might as well delete it because it's only called in one file, which has its own forward declaration for some reason. Yeah, it's not how we do things. Let's declare it here. And it must be a session, not unlocked. That looks correct. Maybe I should not declare it here. It should only be called from this file, or no. Wait a minute, from this file. Which means from the session results serializer. I'm gonna use a batch, I think. Make sure that it only is called from here. Why is this not even a member function then? Maybe JSON. Well, it cannot not be a member function of the session results serializer. Not use a batch just yet. Serialization models. Anonymous namespace. Effect of models. Also called from here. Probably the only place. Not the only place, unfortunately. Code duplication. Or is this a different one? Totally the same, right? Wait a minute. Yep, it's the same thing. Oh, stupid. Yeah, I still can't remember what I was doing. Why did I want that thing to be a free function? I think I committed something that wasn't finished. Yeah. I was removing the RO session mutex. It is still being logged here and here. Yeah, there was something else. I think I already removed it. God, I can't remember it. I think VIP. Good. Good. Yeah, I should probably start over. It's already at 60%. It's eating a lot of tokens like this. Yeah, I should make an alias called shit that is equal to git. At least for certain projects. I am thirsty. Here's a glass. Here's water. Okay. No. Or is this still open? Yeah. I'm a developer. I don't do that. Begun. Yeah, but we need a title. Control top? No. What's alt top? Hmm? Hmm. Loads and loads to go. Oh, actually not that much. Especially not if you look at the number of file names involved. It's a reference. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, this is a pointer. It's not locked at all. Set to 0, pass around, never locked. No, just remove it. Just remove it then. It's a good thing RM didn't work here. I meant VI. CR, right? There we go, you'll want a nice file. Yeah. Also never locked. Well, actually, it might be locked. It's a pass-through function. Yeah. Let's first remove everything. Oh, the mouse is back. Uh-oh. What to do? I removed it from this function. Thus. Also have to remove it now from this thread. Just remove it from everything. Yeah, I don't get it. There's a lock. And another lock. Okay, guys, I'm looking at the chat for a change. I was not doing that because I wanted to concentrate. But I think I'm almost done. So, Visa on set says randomly got the stream recommended. Yeah, who doesn't? Why else would you be here? 6 viewers on my homepage. What are you coding? I'm working on the first Sally in C++. Sally being command line interface for who? For an AI. Just like the one I'm using here right now. This is open code written in I don't know, JavaScript. Most are in JavaScript, I think. And I thought, hey, no, I didn't think that actually. I joined the project of someone who was thinking, hey, let's do that myself. Then I joined and they said, do it in C++ or I won't join. And then he had his he had GTP translate his Java. No, I think he started in JavaScript and then he turned it into Rust for no reason. And then I joined and then GPT turn that into C++, so you can imagine how bad this code is. It's worse than C with clauses. Okay. All 5 guards can be removed. What else is new? They belong to the old raw session synchronization scheme and are mostly duplicate. Session tiers guards, mission control. I'm totally happy every time it says you can remove it, and then I just blindly remove it because I want to believe it. But I'm starting to doubt the correctness of the analysis that it is doing. To be honest. Because there is a significant change that I made between where previously these things were locked and where I log now. Because I log now is like way further down, just before the moment that we need to read or write. Make lots of operations atomic with respect to the session object. And before that was more like, lock and then do lots of work, all under the protection of that card. So if it says now it's a duplicate of the session tiers card, that can't be right. It's just because there's a very different way of using the mutex. I mean, yes, it's the session is protected against concurrent access. That's a given, but I don't know, man. Okay, compaction worker reading path, offline state or model config in provider selection. If only I understood what it is talking about. One of the big downsides of using AIs, if you ask me, is that you lose the overview of your own project. Not that I ever had that, because it already existed when I joined the project. But it's probably the main reason that I have no idea what this all is, but okay. I know what compaction is. Compaction worker is probably a thread that's doing the compaction. Reading path. What path? Offline state? But what? That went so over my head. Model / config and provider selection. Protection, session T read, session model changing, RPC commands are rejected while compaction is active. I'm so not convinced. Oh yeah. Well, let's have a look at the commits that I did. All last 41 of them. Very big, very complex changes. No. Useless AI. Hello, and no own override. Is that Codex? No, it's not Codex. Could have been, I think. Codex is OpenAI, isn't it? So it's GPT, yeah, that says here, but not Codex is out already, I think. It doesn't even exist anymore as a model. There used to be a GPT Codex, I think. And Codex itself is also well, it's still that still exists, I think, but it's also a Sally. No, this is open code. Open code is called the interface Sally. Okay, hopefully it still says that it can be removed. No, that is not what I meant. At line 254, there is no already live red covering the old critical area. Each expression, such as path blah, 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 creates a temporary red that lasts only until the statement semicolon. Yeah, I know that. The next statement acquires a new red. Therefore, your understanding is correct, of course. Session logging is now much more fine-grained than the old outer session mutex log. Also, session mutex and the mutex inside session TS are independent. Once other code stopped participating in session mutex, holding it no longer excluded code using session TS. Yes. Did the old mutex synchronize more? Historically, yes. So that's what I'm talking about. So historically it holds all of AVA together, but you change the code, so currently it's broken and it doesn't do anything anymore. And because it currently doesn't do anything anymore, not holding AVA together, you already broke it, you might as well delete it. It's not doing anything anymore anyway. Stupid AI. Historically, yes, it broadly serialized operations, including multiple session reads, forming one logical snapshot, configuration file loading, and provider selection between those reads. Complete the run command calls. Command registry construction. Attach import session store. So it kept telling me, you can delete it. No, it doesn't do anything. Just delete it. It's dead code. Delete. And now I'm completely done with deleting. There is nothing left anymore. It tells me this is what it all was doing. Some of that was incidental course serialization rather than merely protecting from C++ databases. Which in itself is not how I want to use mutex, but you know, you can't just delete that. The current stage, however, almost all other participants in that protocol have already stopped logging. Yeah, of course. I just deleted everything. The 5 remaining guards only synchronize with each other. How stupid is this thing? There's really no intelligence whatsoever in the eye of AI. I actually stay coherent while being mad. It's time to go to bed. Anyway, I'm going to remove them and push, because it's time that I push this. Testsuite still works. Probably should wait till it is done though, before I change the code while it is running all kinds of stuff. What is this doing to my usage? I think I better ask my friend to have his GPT do this analysis, because he has a lot more tokens, 10 times more. %93 remaining. Oh, that's good enough. Nothing horrible going on yet. Yeah, it's the Eco is the other team member. Yeah, has a point in that this AI agents, even like AI, can run multiple, all work in their own work tree, I think it's called. It's a Git thing. So my AI really works in the same directory as that I work in. So if I start changing files, and then it will might get confused because the files just suddenly change. But I could give it its own work tree, and then that would be immutable, even if I change my own work tree. And then once it is done, it just does a commit, basically, on its own work tree, which I then merge if I agree with it, etc. That's probably a much better way to use Git in combination with AIs than what I'm currently doing. It also saves me from being more or less being forced to commit what I'm doing, because every time I ask a question and it fucks up, I want to have a way to restore my working directory. So if it works in its own work tree, then that's kind of automatic. I always have a backup. The straightest dude ever. Straightest dude ever. Oh. And what do I think about C++ 23? Well, it's 3 years old. Yeah, nothing wrong with it. I mean, what should I think about it? I didn't I didn't really look at the differences, I must say, with C++ 20. This project was started half a year ago, I think. So it's logical that then a young iemand, a young someone, because the other teammate is very young, that he would pick C++ 23. I mean, it's 2026. Why would you start a new project with C++ 20? Gotta move forward every now and then. Not sure we use any C++ 23 things. And the AI says, you are right. It always says this. I think it's like somehow learned to smear honey around kiss feet. I don't know. The human is always right, even if there's not. I'm kind of the client, right? I answered the wrong question. It's also has this little whip, and it whips its own back repeatedly. Yeah? It has no problem doing that because it doesn't have any emotions or ego at all. So it just picks those words. Oh, you're right, and I was wrong, and I apologize. I'm sorry. Did you see that movie? What is it called? Where they shoot bullets that go in. God, how do you say that in English? They bend. So they shoot and then the bullet bends. They make some kind of ridiculous movement with the gun that the bullet doesn't shoot straight anymore. That's an excellent way to assassinate people. Because, yeah, they can never figure out where the bullet came from. But there is this main character who constantly says, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. At some point, that's what I had to think about. At some point, he sits in a car with, how do you call that, with no roof. No, it's not an Indian movie. I think it's just American. But the car, if it's not technical, I have problems expressing myself in English. The car flips over, so it rotates along the axis in which you drive and hops over the car that they were chasing. So he's like, and that is shown in slow motion, so he's like upside down above the car that they're changing, and then he says, I am sorry. It's so funny. Yeah, I have to see that movie again. What was it called? I can't remember. It's a good movie. Yeah, okay, oh, sorry. The correct question is, what atomicity or ordering did the original universally participated session mutex critical area provide? And does the new design prefer that invariant through session TS? Immutable snapshots, admission controls, or a dedicated transaction? Question mark. Whether the nearly removed mutex still has participants is relevant. It's very good at summarizing what you just said as well. So you start shouting at it, and then it starts with apology, and then it continues with just repeating what you said in a little different. I mean, it's good with words, so it knows how to write summaries. This is no different from 3 years ago, right? So the ChatGPT version 2 also did that. Just begin with summarizing everything you say. No intelligence. I withdraw. Now I'm unhappy. Fuck this AI. Withdraw my previous blanket save to remove conclusions unless supported by that historical comparison. For these 5 RPC guards, reconstructing the original critical areas gives compaction setup, historically kept path, offline state, model config resolution, and that is all over my head, and provider selection coherence. And now we don't do that anymore, I suppose. Yes, Wanted from 2008. Watch it, it's good. Long ago, man. Jesus Christ. Most movies since 2000 are so good at special effects that it doesn't really matter anymore. The story is good and it's a good movie. Before that, we had bad special effects, or the special effects came, but you could still see that it was a special effect, you know, in a bad way. And I can't watch old movies anymore, really. Even if the story is terrific, it's just annoying to see all those bad special effects. They appear safe only because no opportunity is still active. Yeah, this needs a very, very long, exhausting analysis, I'm afraid, which I'm not going to do. Okay, so let's just delete this and add this, I guess, also as an issue. I'm going to delete this one. It's hopeless. There is no hope left. Session mutex for this. GPT will have to look at the history of the Git history. I'm just removing it from this code here. What kind of test is that? I guess it switched to session debug mutex already. So it's the mutex of the session, just a debug session mutex even. So yeah, great. New test declaration. There's another thing here. Also debug session mutex. Good. Commit. Okay, let's test to compile. The testsuite must run. Debug must compile and run. Release must compile and run. And then I can push it. 100% passed. Print environment. Edit environment. Switch from debug to beta test. That should also work. Resource, configure, make. Make a generate print members. Yeah, I originally I wanted to have that generate print members be automatically run every time you switch debug mode or not build mode. So I just switched from debug to beta test, and then it should detect that, oh, we changed the CMA config. So let's rebuild the members. I never got to that. If it gets too annoying, then I guess I'll automate it. 12 seconds, everything passes. To edit it again, and then we try release, resource, configure. So it's not saying that it's not generating it. It should say that, like literally. This is threadsafe, so maybe up here, Ava. Option. It's not saying anything about strange. I thought it would always say that it is not regenerating. Print members. Okay, so I just switched, which means I want to run this again. Oh, we don't have, maybe that's why it's not printing it. It doesn't exist. Release doesn't have it. Okay, no. Why does it always feel like my PC needs to be 10 times faster than it is? I had that my whole life. And then every time when I buy a new PC, it's only 4 or 5 times faster. Well, for the longest time. While I try to only buy a new PC when the new one is 10 times faster. Years and years pass, and at some point you just want a new PC, and then it's only 4 or 5 times faster. It's ridiculous. And still too slow. Okay, make tests. What I would like to have now, like right now I would like to have a PC with at least 128 cores, preferably 256, and then of course 512 threads, and 1 terabyte of RAM, fast RAM. That's what I need. It's like, yeah, in a 19-inch rack as well. I'm done with the PC towers. But yeah, we look up how much that costs, then it's considerably more than I used to spend on the PCs. Although I have spent a shitload of money on PCs, I have to admit. Like every time I bought a new PC, it was in 5, 6, 7,000. Always, I mean, like really, like well, a normal person would spend 1,000 or something like that. But yeah, what I just said, you are talking about a single CPU of 5,000. So you only have the CPU. The memory probably these days, 1 terabyte of RAM. I don't know. It must be very non-affordable. But this also worked. Well, everything works. We can just push. Scary, man. Okay, we have to do a git pull. Pray. Confirm. Touch the YubiKey. And we have shitloads of conflicts. You gotta be kidding me. Ego, did you push something? Oh, that sucks. No, you have to fix. I still can't push, and I want to go to bed. Okay, let's see this horrible stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think the smartest thing to do here is keep what I did, because that's the biggest one, I think. And then have a look at what the other person did. Now, which one is mine? This one, this or this? I have no idea. No idea. Head. Nope, it's always unclear. So there's another one. There's another one. I think this is not mine, because I would never have session dot here. Yeah, so this is my code, obviously. I create a constant read access type from the unlocked session that is being passed, so it's being logged, and we get access, we read pass, make a copy of that. That copy is used. Okay, so head is our code. And then the question is, what did they change here? How many conflicts do we have to begin with? It's 1, 2, only 2. Okay. And then we have to see the line number. That is 184. And again, git theirs. Wait a minute, I have to pause a file. And you have to find back the line number, and I forgot the line number again. I think that this was a change, right? They deleted this and moved it to the next line. Session is passed. Okay, so it used to be session.model provider ID, and now also session is being passed. And then the line became too long, so this is moved to the next line. And here we had an AVA config built-in provider profiles. And that changed to something that depends on if provider catalog is, oh god, provider catalog. So that's new. So you have to run over, well, maybe you still have this code, but this is, I think this was one of the changes. There's an extra session passed to that function. Fuck me, man. This sucks. I'm not gonna do this before I go to bed. Shit. It's passed there. Okay, well, if I would do that, then I don't have a session here. You can only pass an unlocked session. And unlocked session is still unlocked, so that would work. Still looks considerably different, because here I have configured provider ID, and here we have this. So that must be a copy then as well. It is locked model provider ID. Yeah, that's still the same thing. I think that's the only change. Need to pass this. And then you can put this on the next line. And then it is fixed, provided that I change the signature of connected provider display name to an unlocked one, because I should never pass a reference to a session. Not anymore. That just to so we can test if the provider catalog exists or not. Connect provider group. Difficult function? No, not really. You can just keep the provider display name. No, also not really super interesting. Why not just pass provider catalog? Well, yeah, okay, no, yeah. Can also pass an already locked thing if we have that. But we don't have that anyway. Here, thing is still unlocked. It's a mess. That's what it is. Yeah, and this. That's line number 333. ish. This one. So they didn't do anything except indent it. Looks like it. No changes. Indentation was changed. Yeah. So we can just keep what we have. And this is done. And then we have to do all the others. Get status. And there is a lot. And I'm going to bed. Sorry, but it's almost 4 AM. So I'll type to my friends. I was ready to push, but I got how many? 15 files that have collisions. So I go to bed. Yep, good night, people. What is that, man? Okay.